Hello dear students, today we are going to start the next portion of heredity and evolution. So basically in the previous session we have studied about the basic thing. So those things which are going to be repeated here also. So we will move towards our next slide. The topics to be covered in this chapter: Mendel's experiments, law of inheritance, sex determination, evolution, variation, its relation to the evolution by the stages, and human evolution. So step by step we will see the each and every topic. So in the today's session we will see one experiment of Mendel which he has put forth just to see that how the traits get transferred or transmission takes place from parents to the offspring. So just to show and see how these things get happens, okay, and how it is possible to get transfer the characters in different ways, why the parents and the offsprings cannot look similar. They are having some variation in them and some of they having a similarities, but actually why it happens, those things we are going to see through his experiment. So now what he has done in his experiment, that he chose one tall plant and another short plant. So he has tried to be show the experiment or did the experiment on the green pea plants. Okay, so he had chosen the green pea plants. He used the different characters of them, means he had chosen their flowers, he had chosen leaves and their peas, okay, their stems which is in height and which is very short one. Okay, so like this type of characters he had chosen. So in first experiments what he has did, he used or chose one tall plant of a pea plant and another one is a short one. So as I have shown in the image, just you can see here. See, first in the tall plant which is a pea plant, another one is also pea plant, but which is he has chosen the shorter one. Okay, so the tall is indicated by double T and short one, that is nothing but the dwarf plant. Okay, so that is indicated by the small double T. Okay, now what he has did, he chose the characteristics, contrasting characters of a plant, two plants which are different in heights, means the two different characters here he has tried to be cross. Okay, the first one that is a tall, another one is a shorter one. Okay, so later what he has did, he did a cross pollination. We know that the pollination having a two types, which is self pollination, another one is a cross pollination, is it? So in the self pollination, on same plant the pollination can be takes place, but in cross pollination the pollination can be takes place in two different plants or the same plants but which are in two different plants, means the flower which is present in two different plants, means a male gamete which is present in one plant and another plant is having a female plant gamete. Okay, so such type of a plant he has chosen. So suppose the tall plant is suppose having a male gamete, okay, and shorter one having a female, that is a stigma. We know that where actually the pollen grains present in the male gamete of anther, on the surface of the anther. Okay, so now the anther having a pollen grains which is going to be transferred to the stigma female flower plant. Okay, so same thing he has did, he has dusted some pollen grains of a tall plants to the short plant, that is nothing but the dwarf pea plant. So it means the cross pollination has taken place, is it? So now the cross pollinated plant tall pea plants with dwarf pea plants. So this was the statement he has put forth, means he has tried to cross pollination in the tall plant with the dwarf plant. Okay, so now what was the result he has seen in the first filial generation? The first result which came, okay, that is called as a filial F1. Okay, it is indicated by the F1. Why it is called as a F1? Because the offspring which is produced in the first generation, that he is called as a first filial generation. Okay, so whatever the result has came out, that is named as a filial generation. Okay, so that is indicated by F1, so it is called as a filial generation. So in the first generation, what was the result? All plants were tall. So when he crossed the short and tall plant, so what he has observed, he saw that the all four plants were the tall one. No any plant is consisting of short height, is it? So later he thought that why the shorter plant was not occurred, no any offspring is with a short height, why? So again he applied his mind. So what he has did, see, he took one F1 plant for self pollination. So what he has did, he used to pollinate it in self, means in themselves only. Okay, so it was found that there were three tall plants and one was a short one. So after doing a self plant in a offspring only, okay, what he has did, he chose the these plants only. Okay, so he has tried to be do a self pollination. Okay, so you can see that in a, he has choose the offsprings. Okay, so now see what happened after self pollination. He has saw that the three plants which were in a second failure generation, that was the three plants were the tall and the one plant was a short one. Again he was thought that why such a things has happened, only a single plant was a shortened and remaining one was the tall, why it is happened? So see guys, there were some wordings are there. Okay, just so we have to be understanding the next slide. So now what he has did, initially tall and short plants he crossed. Okay, after that he got the in first generation, first F1 generation, he got the all plants are the tall. After that he tried to see that where has gone the shorter one, that's why he's tried to be self pollinated the offsprings themselves only. Later he saw that the three plants were the tall in height and one was the shorter one. So what was his conclusion now after doing the both experiments? See, the first failure generation was all plants are the tall, means 100% plants are the tall. In the F2 generation, 75% tall plants were there, 3 by 4, is it? Is it? Next, 25% of the plants are the dwarf one, means those were the short one, 1/4. Okay, first one that is a 75%, that is a 3/4, and shorter one 25%, that was the 1/4 of. Is it? So this was his conclusion. Okay, after doing an experiment, but again he thought that dwarf character was not vanished. Okay, it was there only, but hidden, not expressed. See guys, in the first experiment, what we have seen, the shorter one was not there. But in the second experiment, after doing a self pollination, he saw that the darkness was there in themselves only, but it was not expressed. Is it? It was not expressed. That has got shown in the expressed in the second generation. It means that the both initially father and mother, means the first character which he was chosen, that was the height higher, taller and the shorter one. The shorter one was also along with that taller plant, but that was in hidden manner, those characters were get hidden. But when their offsprings were get pollinated, self pollinated, at that time they saw that the short plant, short character was there, dwarf character was there, but not expressed. But in the second generation it was got expressed. The fourth one was the actually the shorter or the dwarf plant. Okay, so based on these things he put forth the experiments and the laws. By doing this experiment he has put forth some experiments and the laws. So that is nothing but a inheritance of the law. Okay, so that we are going to see later. So now here just in a simple way to understand that two copies of a trait along with the height are inherited in each sexually reproducing organism. So what happened guys here? Tall and dwarf plants were the two traits of the height. One is a taller one, another one is a shorter one. So he has tried to be cross them. Is it? He has to try to be cross it. Is it? Then only cross is nothing but pollination which has taken place. So one copy trait from taller and one copy from the dwarf plant where get passed, means which of the traits expressed or which are not expressed, that he was trying to be show here. Is it? So here the both traits were get transferred, but the dwarfness was hidden. Getting? The dwarfness was got hidden, but it was present there. So now guys, what we actually call it as a hidden one and the which has got expressed one. So those are nothing but a dominant and the recessive traits. So the traits which has got expressed, which has got hidden. So what it called as this trait which has got appeared, means the all plants were the tall one, so that is called as a dominant one. Okay, the dominant one has hidden the character of a shorter one. Okay, that has tried to be suppress the recessive trait. Means see case here, the dominant trait is nothing but a trait that get expressed in the offspring. In the first generation, that was the tall plant. Okay, that is the nothing but called it as a dwarfness. Sorry, that is called it as a tallness. Okay, that takes over the other inherited traits. So the dominant traits always takes over the other inherited traits. So it is always try to be hidden it, because it is a dominant traits always common, means it is always appears, but the recessive traits always cannot able to express themselves. Okay, we will see the simple examples which we normally see in our daily life. Okay, after this completion. So say recessive traits means what? The traits that remains hidden and dominated by the dominant traits. So it is always remains hidden. Sometimes it get expressed, but always it will be a dominated by the dominant character. Means by the tall plant it has got dominated. So see, the dominant trait was the tallness of the plant, and recessive trait was what? Shortness of the plant. So now guys, one question will arise here. When does the recessive trait get expressed? Okay, this was the one big question will arise. So as we go further, we will get to know of its answer. Okay, so let's see later as we move forward on the main point. Okay, so now here some daily life examples which is known as a dominant and the recessive. Okay, as I was shown in the first image, that is the eye. Okay, so eyes color guys, the both blue and brown color eye is here. Okay, so now common the eye color which is present in the human being, that is the brown color. Is it? The brown color is present in everyone's eye. Is it? And this is mostly appear in a rare manner. So now which is the common one? Means the brown color is a common one which is occurs in everyone's eyes. Is it? And we can say the black color also. Is it? So the black color is always try to dominate the blue eye color. It means the real thing is that the bluish color, the blue color is always a recessive one. So in this example, which is the dominant one, the brown eye color is the dominant and the blue eye color is the recessive, the because it is a common in everyone. Is it? Now the hair on the top of a finger. So hair on the top of a finger means what happens guys? See, the most of the peoples they having a hairs. Is it? Most of the, I'm talking about the most of the major number, in major number the peoples having hairs on the top of the finger. But the in rare case such a peoples are there which is having a recessive characters in them. They doesn't consisting, they don't having the hairs on the top of the finger. So that is what, that is in rare condition happen. The common thing is that in major condition the hairs present on the finger of a top, is it? So this is the one more example that which is recessive and dominant. Dominant is what here, the hairs having on the finger of top, okay, and the recessive character is what here, the people doesn't having a hair on their finger, is it? Now most of you have observed that most of the peoples having the ear with free ear lobe and the attached ear lobe, guys. So lobe means this one, this portion you can see here, this is a attached one, sorry, this is the free ear and this is the attached one, okay. So see, in this case most of the peoples, though they having this type of a ear means free lobe, okay. In rare case this type of a ear lobe only appear, that is a attached one, okay. So that's why it is a recessive one, this is a dominant one. This character always get hidden by the DOF, by the dominant trait, okay. So this was the basic things which we normally see in our day to daily life. That's why I have given this examples just to understand the dominant and recessives. So now here the conclusion is that the whole thing which is takes place by the transmission, that is always expressed through the traits, those are the by the dominant traits and by the recessive traits, which got expressed, that is a dominant one, which is not going to be expressed, that is called as a recessive traits, okay. The traits are nothing but the genes which is going to be expressed as a characters, okay. That may be eye color, skin color, height, okay, body parts and other organ developments, all these are nothing but characters, okay. Now one more will question arise here, when do the recessive traits get expressed? The same question which we were talking, okay. Now it will be get clear out. So now in F2 generation, when will the recessive trait will get expressed? We have seen in F2 generation at the end the shorter plant were occurred, is it? So when it will happens actually, suppose a blue color eye if having a both parents, then only the offspring will get a blue eyes, is it? This is a normal kind of thing, guys, is it? If the both mother and father having a blue eyes, it means that the baby will also get a blue eyes, is it? Suppose a father is having a blue eyes and mother is having a brown eye, then what happens? Then only the dominant will inherit, which is a common one, the dominant which is that brown eye color, the mother eye color will get transferred to the offspring. So this is the basic thing. So this is happen in the F2 generation also. So in the F2 generation what happened? In the F2 generation what happened? The short recessive thing were got expressed, okay. So the first experiment shows us that the 3:4 3:4 ratio will get occurred through the his first experiment, that is a F1 to F2 generation, that is 3:4 ratio, because the first was in the F2 generation what happened, the 75% the dominant character was there, that was the 3/4 and another one was 1/4, okay. So now next, what happens to the chromosome number during the reproduction? See guys, the same thing again came here, the reproduction. These things are related to the reproduction only, because the whole transmission things only takes place through the transmission. If the parents having the characters, then only the baby will get directly, is it? So now see here, the sexual reproduction, just to understand the chromosome, what happens during a reproduction, first of all we must know the few of the terms. So the first term is that the diploid cells and haploid cells. What is meant by the diploid cells? See guys, all the cells in our body existing in pairs, means the cells in our body having the chromosome number which are in a pair, guys. Okay, so now the pair which is occurs the chromosomes, that is called as a diploid, and the single type of a chromosome is called as a haploid cell. Means single type of a cell is called as a haploid cell, and in pair that cell is called as a diploid cell. Now the autosome means what? Autosome means what? Autosome means the chromosome other than the sex chromosomes. So first of all, you must know that how many autosomes are present in our body. Not in our only, the all living beings or the human beings. Okay. Near about 22 pairs of the chromosome numbers are present as a autosomes. Those chromosomes are called as a autosomes, 22 pairs. Okay. Now then how many sex chromosomes will present in our body? Near about only 2, that is a sex chromosomes are present only in one pair, that may be a XY, that may be a XX. Okay, so now here which determines the sex, that may be a male or that may be a female. So now here who is responsible for getting as a boy? Means see guys, the male having XY chromosome. Okay, the one pair that is in male present, that is a XY, but in female this one pair of a sex chromosome is having both XX. It means that a male is responsible for the birth of a male child. So here the sex chromosomes are in one pair. So one more question will arise here, then how it will be transferred into the baby? Near about means two pairs of the sex chromosome will transfer, one from the father and one from the mother. So this is the basic thing. So now here the total number of chromosomes will be 46. So how it will be 46? See, as I have told you, the autosomes are near about 22 pairs. Okay, and sex chromosomes are 1, means from 22 will be from mother, 22 will be from father, and remaining 1 will be the sex chromosome. It is totally a 46. Okay, we will see in details with the best example. So now here the gametes are nothing but half the number of chromosome. Those are called as a haploid, that is a 23 chromosome numbers. So see guys, the each of they exist in pairs, that is a 23 pairs. 23 means how guys? First one, that is the autosomes 22 pair, and one will be the sex chromosome, that is the total number. Okay, so see, these are the basic thing. Now we have understood diploid means the cell with two complete set, and the haploid are the cell with a single complete set of the chromosomes. Either that may be a father set or that may be a mother set. That is called as a haploid, means it's a single cell set. Okay, that may be a father or mother, it will be a 23 chromosome. But the diploid will be a two complete set, that means 23 and 23. Okay, from the father and mother the same thing will be get transferred. So total number of chromosome there will be become as a 46. Now here what happens, suppose we will take one example that how the parents involved in it during a reproduction, is it? So chromosomes numbers we have seen now. So these how will be get transferred, how will be done? Chromosomes from the mother and father will be get transmitted or the involved in it. Suppose the father's male gamete, that is the sperm that we know, and mother's is the egg. Okay, now the sperm is now a haploid one. Okay, haploid, and an egg is also one haploid one. Okay, it means having a only a 23 chromosome set. Okay, and father is also having a 23 pair of chromosome set. Okay, so now here out of the 46 chromosome, so what they will do, they used to be contribute near about 22 autosomes and one sex chromosome. Okay, and out of 46 what they will do, 22 will from mother contribute as autosome and 1 will be a sex chromosome. So it means that total 23 and 23. Getting? So this was the, then later this involvement of set of chromosome will become as a zygote. So whenever the father and mother's egg and sperm will get meet, then the fertilization happens, then the embryo, then the, what can we say, the zygote, sorry, first stage will be the zygote, next is the embryo, next will be the fetus. After the 9 months the fetus will convert into the baby. So this was actually happens, or the involvement of a parent's chromosomes happens during a reproduction process. So now here 22 plus 22 is equal to 44 autosomes, 1 plus 1 sex chromosome is equal to 2 sex chromosome. Total it will become as a 46 new individuals. So whenever the new individual will be reproduced, that will be having a 46 set of chromosome number. So what will be the conclusion here? Here both parents contribute equal chromosome numbers. Is it 22 autosomes, one will be the sex chromosome from the father, and 22 autosomes from the mother, and one sex chromosome from the mother only. So totally it will become as a 46 chromosome number. So this was about the today's session, that we were started from the Mendel's experiment, and later we have completed till the how the father mother involved in it. So this is the basic thing just to understand. Okay, so for any doubts and difficulties, ask me anytime. Till then, thank you.